This is the concierge, sir.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Concierge Confidential. I'm your host, Brian Ortega, and in this episode, we are going to be talking about holiday activities, things to do while you're here in Vegas for the winter time, for you, maybe the whole family, and maybe just for adults. So we'll be diving into the episode talking about some of the activities that you're able to do. And when we say winter activities, we really mean like Christmas activities, or holiday activities, if you want to go that way. Which is kind of funny because when this comes out, the very next couple of days, I believe on the Monday, starts Hanukkah. So sorry guys, not sure of any like Hanukkah themed things in town, but usually it's like our surrounding holidays. So anyways, winter activities, if you want to call it that. So we'll be diving into all of that coming up next. Okay, so a confession, everybody. My favorite time of year in Vegas is the winter time. Just because that's when you get so many of these like extra little things in town. Also, the Cowboys are in town at the moment of me doing this podcast, and the weather is fantastic. You can go outside. It's a little chilly. You can feel like it's football weather, as they call it. And I honestly think, this is like maybe a hot take, I think women look hotter in the winter time. I think women look way hotter in the wintertime. I love the outfits. Big fan. You got to do a lot of work to make it look good, and I love it. And also, my like whole wardrobe is much better in the wintertime than it is in the summer. Because in the summer, if you got a toned body, you're not really working on your outfit. But in the wintertime, that's when you put all the layers on to really make a statement. So. Big fan of autumn and winter in Las Vegas. So, with that being said, what can you do while you're here? Because you can't go to the pool. Sometimes you can, but for the most part, you're not really going to the pool to swim during this time of the year because even though it is still a desert, it does get cold here. We're not Southern California. You step outside and it's still, 50, 60 degrees, which, yes, I know for some of you that's not cold. But we have to go over some of the activities that are here. One big omission this year, which kind of sucks, is that there is no ice rink at the Cosmopolitan. So some may point to MGM taking over the reins of the Cosmopolitan as sort of a cost-cutting thing. And that could be true because there's not been any information on this. And I think it's weird that like none of the news outlets have wanted to go and ask and cover this. But you know how that goes. And it's very interesting, and it was actually one of the most popular things to do on the Las Vegas Strip was to go to the Cosmopolitan, and they really built it up. Like the last year that they had it, it was built up with the ice rink. They had outdoor fire pits. They even had like a lodge that they built up there, like from scratch. And it was so popular, and now it's gone. And maybe they just couldn't take the pressure from the Fontainebleau sort of stepping in their lane, and now they don't have it anymore. So we'll see if it makes a return next year, but there is no ice rink at the Cosmopolitan this year. But as we continue to talk about some of the winter activities, let's start with one of the free ones. We'll get to the Fontainebleau in just a second, but let's start with one of the free ones. That's the Bellagio Conservatory at the Bellagio, which they do have decked out for the holidays. They have a giant Christmas tree. They also have like this really cool like train with the smoke coming off the top of it. Really cool idea. A lot of times they pump in like gingerbread smell because that's like, sort of like the vibe that they want to go with is the gingerbread smell, which I think is great. It's free, which is really quite nice. In the last couple of years, they've actually added this extra little, this extra sort of this extra addition. Fine, we'll just use the word addition again. And it's like a hot chocolate station. We're able to go and purchase hot chocolate. You can also get, an alcoholic hot chocolate if you want, coffee, and it's really fantastic. I think it's a nice little touch to have when you want to walk around that holiday area, and people love it. So I definitely think that's one thing that you have to check out when you're on the Strip because it's free. So that's always the nice thing about it. And one more free thing, I'm just going to throw it in there. It's not like you have to like leave you do have to leave the Strip to do it, but at the South Point, if you're somebody who loves Christmas lights, they actually have all their outdoor area decorated with Christmas lights on their outdoor trees. So my mom loves it. It's really kind of like a nice surprise when I'm going to South Point. and it looks really, really pretty. And again, it's free. I would say if you're like driving through town, maybe go do it, but don't really go out of your way to check this out. So just one other thing I wanted to talk about. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk into some of the activities. So the number one thing to do on the Strip, if you're coming here for the winter time, is definitely going to be the Fontainebleau Winter Oasis on their pool deck. This actually is only available in the evening, so it's open from 5 to 11 p.m. And they do have different prices for like skates and then also the like fire pits and cabanas, but it's actually complimentary just to go up there and walk around, which is really, really nice. You can go anytime. They do have certain times that they make you skate. I think it's like a 3-hour window, and it's from 5 to 8 and then from 8 to 11. And if you want to rent skates, this is for adults and kids. It's $37 with all taxes and fees included. So $37, and it's a very large area that people like to go up there for. So very large area up there at the Fontainebleau pool deck. Obviously, because of the ice rink, they do not have the pool going on. So if you are staying at the Fontainebleau, then this is sort of the activity that you get instead of doing the pool stuff. So $37 for skates. If you do want to rent a fire pit or a king fire pit and cabana, it ranges in price. They have 3 different price ranges. I'm going to give you the range. It's between $200 and $700 total for the cabana space. It is food and beverage minimum because they have a minimum spend. So I believe the fee ends up coming out to like $20 or $30. So if you paid for a $200 cabana, it ends up being like $220 essentially. But I should note that the $200 is for like a 4-person fire pit, so it doesn't come with the cabana area. But the larger cabanas fit up to 8 to 10 people, and that usually comes with the cabana and the fire pit added to it as well. So obviously the more expensive, the bigger the party, the more expensive the prices for those fire pits and cabanas. And they do have a menu that'll have, like s'mores, they have their, seasonal cocktails and all those other like sort of like foods and bites that you can have at the fire pit area. And it doesn't say that there's actually a time limit, but it does say that there's a food and beverage minimum for those cabanas. It's really nice up there. Highly recommend it, especially if you have kids and you want to be doing something, in the evening with them. They also do run movie nights. I believe by the time this goes out, they're going to have, I think, 5 or 6 movie nights left, which those are usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, although there is one day where they only do 1 week where they do Monday and Wednesday. So that is on the Strip. Another one that I think is sort of Christmassy, but not really, but we'll call it a Christmas thing, is the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. I know a lot of people end up going, home and they have Wizard of Oz just playing in the background, but I would consider this sort of like a winter holiday sort of theme or thing, just because you're able to do it, with your family. Obviously, it's all ages. They usually have 3 showings a day, usually 2, 5, and 8. And again, the tickets range in price. So it ranges everything from, I believe it was like $125 for like sort of the edges. Of course, you can go, you can splurge and go for the ones in the very center, the sort of like the high end ones for around $350. If you want to see what that video looks like, make sure you check out our Instagram page, which is consciousconfidential_LV, and you can actually see what it looks like if you go to that page. And also on TikTok if you want to see what the Wizard of Oz experience looks like at the Sphere. But I think that's another fun like winter activity to do if you're going down here to Las Vegas. And again, that's continuing running throughout the year. Another one to check out, this is actually off of the Strip, and this is probably one of the most popular things to do in Las Vegas during the wintertime, especially if you're like newly dating somebody or even if you're married, who cares? But this is very much like a winter date staple, and that is the Enchanted Las Vegas experience, which is located at the Las Vegas ballpark. They have so many things to do there, lots of different like price ranges, so just depending on the time you go, if you go to their website, they will have a time that you reserve to go, and then that's the price that you get. And the prices range. Most of the prices or around $30. Like it's 25 or 35. It's usually around $30, depending whether it's around a certain time. They do have an ice skating rink it's like a sort of like it's not really like a rink. It's more like a trail. They also have a light maze, which is really supposed to be really fun. Lots of food. So usually like lots of hot food. So you get things like pretzels, hot chocolate, of course. They do have alcoholic beverages as well. And it's important to note that the price does not include the rentals for the skates. So just be mindful of like how much you're spending or how many people are going. If you have a family, they usually have pretty good deals for family packs. So make sure you check and see the deals on their page because they outline them pretty good. I think they've really lowered the prices though as well. So that's actually, I think, a good thing. If you're going to be going to the Enchanted, but it is really nice. Like when you go, it's actually one of the nicer activities to do in the wintertime. And I think they do a really good job, really marketing to families. And of course, like dates, that's always kind of the nice thing. Ooh, what's that? Sorry. Sometimes when I'm doing these, I'm actually looking at other things at the same time. And there's this thing called Runaway Cinema at the Area 15, which I don't know what that means, but it's pretty cool. They do not have anything going on at the Area 15, which is a really, really popular. It's a really, really popular space. If you've probably heard it on other podcasts or other shows about Area 15, they always have like different activities going on. But right now they do not have anything Christmas themed. So no Christmas themed things, but they do have a pinball tournament. That's interesting. But moving on from that, I think Enchanted Las Vegas is definitely worth it, especially if you have a car, just because it is a little bit of a drive to get from the Las Vegas Strip to the Las Vegas Ballpark, which is located right next to Red Rock Casino and downtown Summerlin, which actually, with that being said, if you do go to Red Rock, they turned the Rouge Room into a holiday thing. So I do want to check it out just to make sure if they do have something holiday themed that we're not missing it. So as we kind of look through that, they do have other things going on in town. If you go to the Park MGM actually has really, really two really fantastic things that are very Christmas themed. And if you are a certain person, you are really going to enjoy it. And that is, and I'm really, really sorry that this came out so late, but the Mariah Carey Christmas Time in Vegas, I was looking it up. I was doing research on this and I was like, I want to do this one podcast, but I should probably do a winter thing. Her Christmas concerts are here the final days when this podcast come out. So if you listen to this right when this was released, which would be December 12th, she is performing today and then also on Saturday. So she is performing this weekend and then she's done with her performances in Vegas for December. I'm really sorry I didn't jump on it earlier. So if you're coming this weekend, it's not here. But the cool thing that she does have going on, and that's going for basically until Christmas time, and is the Mariah Carey Holiday Bar. So I feel like an old radio host when I say the Mariah Carey Holiday Bar. So it's actually a themed holiday bar at On the Record, which is the nightclub at the Park MGM, and they actually have really well listed of what it is. It opens at 4:00, and I believe it's open until 10 because that's when the nightclub opens. And it'll still have the Mariah Carey theme, but it's a nightclub essentially. And then they have a late night experience, which I think is after the nightclub, so a little bit later. But if you purchase tickets for the Mariah Carey Holiday Bar, it starts at $19.90. So it's I get it. $19.90. That's pretty good. But it's about $20 per person, and it includes the fees, obviously. It's a 90-minute experience, and it's first come, first serve. So it's really like a nightclub when you get inside, but they do have spaces where you can stand. And then I'm assuming places to sit down as well. And you get a welcome cocktail, which is quite nice. I believe the welcome cocktail is actually a dark drink that I suppose Mariah Carey drinks. And I don't know. Who knows if it's any good, but it is included in that price. So you get a drink included with that as well. And of course, they have additional drinks for purchase that are all holiday themed. let's see. So late night event Saturday, Friday, and Saturday, and that is $30. So keep that in mind. That is on Fridays and Saturdays. They have the late night experience, and they have a karaoke rooms, which I've actually been in the karaoke rooms at on the record. They're like cool if it's like for a corporate event. It's not cool when there's a nightclub going on because I've passed by them and they're okay. But what ends up happening is that you end up in the main part of the club anyways. And those are going for $1,000 minimum spend. So if that's your thing, that's your thing. So speaking of residencies, one that is specific for Christmas is Leona Lewis. She's going to be performing, you may have remembered the name, but Leona Lewis is going to be performing at the Venetian inside of Voltaire, which is their theater space that they usually have a burlesque show in. Beautiful theater, by the way. I've actually been in that theater when it was the Baz Luhrmann Star-Crossed Lovers show, which is very much like a Broadway-style show, and that show rocked. It was also one of those old school shows where you can tip the usher and they would get you better seats. And it was so cool. It was sort of set up like sort of a cabaret kind of thing. But it wasn't just a cabaret. It was actually like a theater, but parts of it were sort of cabaret style. And then it was all of these awesome, it was Star-Crossed Lovers. So it was The Great Gatsby, it was Romeo and Juliet, and then Moulin Rouge. So it had all these, like the three movies that he had done up to that point, and like the Star-Crossed Lover aspect of it. And I really love that show. I think I saw it like 3 times. It was a very affordable show to go to as well. But neither here nor there. Leona Lewis is performing in there now for Christmas time. So just make sure you check on Venetian's website to see the dates that she will be performing in those at those times. So as we move on, if you are a fan of holiday cocktails, Fontainebleau, going back to the Fontainebleau, is actually doing seasonal holiday cocktails for their entire property, which I think is a great idea. And I honestly think that more places are going to be doing this because it's a great idea. So I don't think it's on their website, but if you go through their socials, they actually have all the different drinks. But I love bars where you have to go to each one to have their specific cocktail. So I really enjoy that. So I think that you guys should do it because it's awesome. Let's see, holiday hours, 12 to 12. Ooh, 8 to the 23rd. I'm just looking at the menu here. But yes, they all have like holiday themed drinks. Most of them are going to be, hot drinks because that's sort of the thing. Like I know Collins Bar is doing a twist on an espresso martini, which everybody kind of does. But they will be doing that for their holiday part of the experience. Another one is Nocturno, which is downtown. Again, if you haven't seen or know what Nocturno is a very much like an industry cocktail bar that is doing a holiday like bingo card where you can fill it out, and they have a bunch of specialty holiday cocktails as well as food on their menu. So I think they even had like calamari, which was kind of an interesting thing that they added on the menu. They're very avant-garde. But I really enjoy Nocturno for regular cocktails, and I think that they're going to make these drinks awesome as well. Lou Lopez is the guy who runs the bar there, and he is fantastic. A couple other things. You can always go out to the Motor Speedway where they have the Christmas lights that are lit up, and you actually do a drive-through of all of like these Christmas sort of like Christmas themes, which is a very long line, especially when you go closer to Christmas, obviously. And then another one that is sort of like a local thing, and that's the Ethel M Chocolate Factory. So people like to go to the Ethel M Chocolate Factory and walk through the Cactus Garden, which is all decorated for Christmas time, of course. So that experience, I think, is also free, but people end up going into the chocolate factory, buying a couple chocolates, and then that's where they go from there. So that is another very popular thing to do for locals who go to the Ethel M Chocolate Factory. We don't really have like Christmas lights. That's not really like a thing. You see a lot of things that like give like a Christmas hat kind of deal, but nothing like Christmas lights deal. What I also would recommend, I think going to the Link Promenade is a really, really cute winter idea because you can stroll, you can have hot chocolate, you can have, a milkshake from In-N-Out's awesome. But that's an area where you're able to walk through, take a look around at stuff, look at the high roller, which is always great. They usually decorate it for Christmas as well. And I think that's a kind of a really fun thing to do is walk down that stroll. And I think it's really, really cool. Another one, if you want to check out more Christmassy things, if you walk into the Crystal Shopping Mall, which is in front of the Aria, they also decorate for Christmas. So they actually have a big, giant Christmas tree, and they also have a bunch of different items sort of around as you kind of walk and can take pictures and stuff. Big Christmas trees. If you're a big fan of Christmas trees, Vegas is a good place to go. It was really funny because we were doing a tour of the Mansion Casino or the Mansion at MGM. And the general manager was telling us that, we just got our Christmas tree. We're getting ours tomorrow because the one that's being delivered today, the first one, goes to the Bellagio because the Bellagio is sort of like our Rockefeller Center tree because it's sort of the biggest space that everybody can go see. But if you go to the Mansion, they also have a Christmas tree that's lit up and put in the center part of their courtyard, which is a big deal. Although that was back then. I was actually at the Fontainebleau recently, and I know I'm bringing up Fontainebleau a lot, but Fontainebleau in their main lobby has a gigantic tree, huge tree. Their roses are all decorated sort of down the edges like they do, and I really hope that they just continue to have I just hope they really continue to have all the live flowers at the Fontainebleau. I think it's so pretty, and I think a lot is added when you have real flowers, which the Bellagio, for their conservatory, started cutting back on the amount of real flowers that they used. It used to be so cool because everything around was like bird seeds, so there was an aspect of it was natural, but you find a lot more fake flowers and plants at the Bellagio Conservatory than what they used to use. So it's a little disappointing, if I have to say so myself. But that's neither here nor there. So I think I've covered everything on my list, didn't I? Look at that. A couple other sort of little things that I probably didn't mention. I went to, these are not winter activities oriented, by the way. Just a couple things I've observed. So I've been to Fontainebleau a lot lately, and I think that they're actually turning the corner when it comes to getting people in there. They're usually pretty busy now, which is nice. They're getting a lot more local traffic because they have a lot of local. If you sign up for their rewards program, they're actually sending lots of local deals, which I think is a good thing to come and stay. I have one. Which is $50 a night during winter time, which I think you should do. I wanted to talk about that. This is a really good time to come to Vegas if you want deals. And again, I understand it's not always the nicest outside, but it's not snowing, which is nice. But winter time, in between, the week coming up, right before Christmas, is the best time to come to Las Vegas. It's when we have the cheapest room rates. Usually you can get into any restaurants that you need, and only people going to the really fancy restaurants are locals because they're here already. But this is a great time to come to Las Vegas, and you take advantage of it. Do it up. I think it's a good idea. But what did I do? Yeah, so I ended up going to Fontainebleau. They had a Michelin star barbecue restaurant in their sportsbook, and it was really good. I have to say, it was really, really good. It was just a pop-up, so you guys aren't going to be able to experience it. But if you want to check it out, go to concertsconfidential_LV, and you can watch the video of what I ate. But it was a brisket, and then they also had pulled pork, which I ate, which is a lot of food, but I ate it all. I did take some of it home, though. But it was really good. Who knows if they might open one here. And I know you guys listened to my other episode, which if you haven't, go check it out. It's about the Michelin Guidebook coming to Las Vegas. It's called the Michelin Guidebook, not the Michelin Star Guidebook, because I know. But that's going to be really interesting. I've kind of just sat and thought about it for a while, and I think it's really, really going to add a lot of competition in the city, a healthy, good competition, and I think it's going to have a bigger effect than I thought it was. Because when you think about it, everybody just kind of gets to operate however they want to operate. I think the chefs and then all the people under them are like, this is go time. Like, we're shooting for it. That's what we want. And it's going to really elevate people's careers if they're able to gain a Michelin star or work in a Michelin star restaurant in like a meaningful role in town. The people already have one. They understand the sort of the way it works. But I think it's going to be a big deal when they come to Vegas and have to deal with all that. So let's see here. In a couple weeks, so next week, this is where I have something planned out already for you guys. We are going to be doing another hotel matchup, the mega hotel matchups, where we're going to be pitting two hotels against each other and deciding which one that you should stay at. The last one was very, very successful, I would say. So this one coming up, I'm probably going to do just a podcast on it. I'm trying to do more videos, but, it takes time and, I want to pump these out. So this will most likely be just podcast form. And we are going to be pitting two hotels on the north end of the strip against each other to see which one you should stay at. So I thought the last one was pretty well matched up. I think it was the Paris versus the Park MGM. And I think I picked Paris as kind of like a weird... I definitely zigged when I wanted to zag on that one. But it is what it is. Maybe we should have you guys vote on them. Ooh, that's a good one. We're going to do that. So we're going to have you guys vote on socials on which hotel you would stay at or you would pick, and the poll will be up on our Concierge Confidential page on Instagram. So that'll be fun, and then we'll reveal the winner like on the next round. Great idea. Love when I work these out with you guys, when we're just working out like the ideas for the episodes. So thank you so much, guys. So that's going to be the episode for today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the weekend. Hopefully you guys do something fun. And again, if you guys are like into movies and stuff, make sure you check out my personal page, Brian_Ortega26, where I, do movie reviews and things, because that's the thing I'm like, love. Like I love Vegas, but I've loved movies since when I used to live in Arizona, a very long time. And, yeah, hopefully you guys check those out. Leave comments if you like the movie that I talk about. If you don't, check it out. And again, if you guys like stuff that's on the regular Concierge Confidential page, comment on it and I'll respond. And again, message me, DM me if you guys have any, like, are planning anything coming into town. Hopefully you guys like the newsletter. The newsletters, pumping them out once a week. I'm trying to make them pretty decent size, but I think I've kind of found like a nice level where we sort of pump out the newsletters, because I think I made a long one, like an essay, and nobody read it. So we're going to make them shorter. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our social channels, ConciergeConfidential_LV, and make sure you check out the next episode, which is our matchup of the hotel mega resorts. That's going to be on the next episode. So thanks, everybody, so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good day. If you see me out in town, come up and say hello. But remember, keep it confidential.